views. They need to send people notification. They don't want to make people they know so they live. So people they only know so they live now when people they share them before other people they know say they live. Facebook no one make now the public they pay Facebook plenty money. Make sure say we will not talk, make the message not go out. All right. So we do our best for navigate all the challenges until we build our own social media platform, and then now for the all Ambazonians will communicate so that we know they get this kind of problem them. All right. So for now, not just bear with what we go through as a people. All right. The challenge for liberation not been an easy matter. All right, let's say we'll be live right now. All right, so we'll officially start. My fellow Ambazonians, una good evening for all una. I be una brother ASU, when the press secretary for the executive office for governing council of Ambazonia. That means I be the spokesperson for the office for the leader for War of Independence, Dr. Abacho. Una good evening for all una. I be very happy say all we don't come meet up today. Today, we come now towards the end of the year. Today, na New Year's Eve. For just small few hours, well, people them they will start for celebrate New Year. Now already New Year for Australia. Now already New Year for Hong Kong. Now already New Year for China. Now already New Year for plenty places them. So we'll be very happy say all we don't come meet up. We'll be very happy say this day don't finally come. We'll meet up. We salute all man. So we throw when I salute our people them for ground zero. We know say very soon, some people they will start their prayer for enter for the new year, for make God be for their spirit. Very soon, some people they will go for church, for go pray until New Year. Very soon, people the family go gather together for pray together and start the new year together. Very soon, soldier them for barracks, then too they will stay together for make a reaffirmation and rededicate themselves. Say for this new year we come, it go be na chop fire, na year for chop fire for Ambazonia, na year for carry more bigger action, more powerful action for Ambazonia. So even soldier them too for barracks, the day at a lot. All right, make all man can find. Make we start with this music where the leader be doing for that time where he be go Washington. Make we start and then we will start the show immediately because the story for today is over big. Make we start with this one.
Your freedom is in your hands. It is going to be fought inch by inch, block by block. Neighborhood by neighborhood, rooftop by rooftop. If you don't know, you gon' die. Now only you, yeah. They are fighting. They are gambling for that freedom in land. And remind them say they no one yet. Cause you know we do the way them did. I see you blow. Blood of your innocent world. Yes, so come and save us. If we not there, we go die, yo. Cause how we no get it there. That's what the giant is fly, yo. Yes, so come and save us. If you not there, we go die, yo. Cause cow no get it there. That's what the giant is
My fellow Ambazonians, when I welcome, that will be an introduction. When I welcome for this evening, we don't can gather for National Liberation Television, when ACN, for talk with people them tonight. Tonight, I don't come make we can get a conversation. The year they come for an end. Every country, the president of every country before today, it is she done with the top people them. Make they review their policy. They see the plan where they be put them in place. They see the agenda, the goals, the vision where they be creating for the people. And they see what they succeed for achieving and what they fail for achieving. Every company, before the end of the year, they sit down, they review their successes, and then they see the mistakes with the company and why the company not achieve those goals. Same thing. Any people, a group of people for leadership, at the end of the year, people they sit down. Whether in a family we get for make progress, at the end of the year, mommy they sit down, papa they sit down, they sit down. They say, now what we want achieve and this for January, what will be talking we go achieve for the family. Now what will be talking we go achieve. Now what we talk to we go do and for make life better for family. Every smart people, every intelligent people, they review their lives for see the mistakes where they make and for make sure so the next year they don't make those same mistakes. For the next year, the things in which they cause their problems, the things in which they make them not succeed, for make sure so they not repeat themselves. Every smart people, they do these things. It will be different from the Ambazonian people. We got to follow the things in which they work for this world. Learn from our mistakes. We be a people. We don't rise up for a noble cause. We rise up for something where it be right for we. For something where our lives depend upon it. Why people they rise up for it. We get many movements. People, leaders, they come out. For sure they be interested for lead the Ambazonian people then. They create institutions. They create movements. Ambazonia, they start for trust these movements. They start for trust leaders. They start for believe. Say, wetin they advocate for. Wetin they don't put them in place. It go take the Ambazonian people, give them independence. Now, 4 years after, 4 years later, we get for make a review of wetin we want, the actions with the various movements that they take them. Whether those actions they move us forward, whether they make progress on the territory, whether they make gains on the territory, or would they lost territory, or the enablers that they become more confident for ground. Over the years, you get, first of all, now 2 movements. For all the groups that they did for Ambazonian War of Independence, now 2 movements the day. You get the IG group and you get the Governing Council of Ambazonia. All the other one them na small activist group. Group them like APLM of Dr. Akwanga. Na one-man show, na activist. Group them like Morris of Bohebet. That one a one-man show, na activist. If you call Bohebet, say be an activist. You know if you call it say be a leader, because there's no institution. Akwanga don't become an activist because there's no institution behind Akwanga. Alright? So, now only 2 main groups they don't remember for Ambazonian War of Independence. The IG group and the Governing Council of Ambazonia. Now the 2 groups them that. So all we get for ask ourselves. Now waity, the IG group, one group, first, the first problem where Ambazonia they start for Sikam. Now say the IG group, it move. First problem, they create skakuf. They create the leadership when I supposed to run skakuf. And it be na the core movements. Now those core movements, they're supposed to be the decision-making body for skakuf. Alright? They not leave and make that one even worker. They move them from skakuf. They change them to governing council. The moment they change them to governing council, they start for broke the law them with the great skakuf. And for AMBAZONIAN, they start for get problems. They create institutions, they need to respect the laws governing that institutions. From there, the leadership council, when I supposed to lead even that governing council by the constituent members, they come out, they scatter them, they put them aside. They go carry, what do they call them? Country heads. They go create another power base. Ignore the document. We create skakuf and we create the governing council. They create another power base. They go pick individuals, appointed individuals. They call them, say that they be the new constituent members. Say that the country head them now them they use them. They take them now, they can't create the IG group. First of all, it start with a fraud, and it start with manipulation, and it start with lie. When something start with fraud, it start with manipulation, and it start with lie, it be bound for fail. First mistake of the AMBAZONIAN people then. Now say they create a document where you go lead a movement. And then people, they take that document, they put them aside. They appoint new people then. Say now when I make we president. Now for you they can't create the IG group. First mistake of the AMBAZONIAN people then. Now for ignore the documents, the founding documents, where they create skakuf for lead the revolution through the leadership council. And now for here, the wahala for the AMBAZONIAN people start. Now, in order for them to move forward, with what they don't create them, it get for being based on that manipulation. It not get for be based on founding documents. It not get for be based on principles. It get for be now, they must make sure say, then they sustain that system where they don't create them. Now you create a system out of fraud. You create a system out of manipulation. How you feel sustain them? And then you declare yourself to be a government. Now, Bia don't declare war on the AMBAZONIAN people then. It not be a political agitation anymore. Even if now you don't come out to be a government. Now for focused on the ground, for defend the people then, it not be being so. Now it be now for survive, which is they call as a government. They put all energy. And so every person within that system now wants survive na a position. Not be now for survive down zero. Not be now for defend down zero. Every person now it fight now for survive the position where they don't give. Now for become a minister, now for become a director, now for become this within the structure of the IG. So now it be now for survive people their title, people their position, and not before liberate the territory. So the focus can change. When AMBAZONIAN they rally and rise up, support skakuf, support governing council, then they can hijack them through fraud and through manipulation. The system be bound for fail. Because it changed the focus of the liberation. From liberating a people to now people now, any man now want how if he get a position so that if he becomes significant, so that if he become popular, the direction of the revolution now can change. Now it can be, now how if he make that group may become popular so that no other group will not ever exist again. And so the creation of the IG, now out of the greed, out of manipulation, out of fraud, in order for prevent collaboration. Because the founding document of SCACUF and the governing council is supposed to be now the nationalist movements, now them go be the deciding body for oversee the activities of the liberation. Now for you now, as the moment Siseko take over, they try to do their own best in Owaka. They come out, they pick up Siseko. Sako now, as they pick up Siseko, because it start for fraud, it get for continue with fraud. It start for fraud and manipulation, and it get for continue with fraud and manipulation. For he for survive. So Ambazonians, they be manipulated, they be lied upon, just for survive the system. Now Sako come in. Now which documents they lay the foundation of how they go elect a person within the institution. The process of electing someone for gain legitimacy and consent within that structure not be there. So when they take out Siseko, they hijack the system for destroy the revolution. As they take out Siseko, since a transparent and credible process be established within that structure about how another leader will emerge through that guaranteed process, it get for be now based on fraud. They take out Siseko, they get for use now fraud for bring in Sako and Chris Ano. So now, when you create a system will be based on fraud, just like they did duplicate La République du Cameroon style. You create a system based on fraud. How you think that system, it go feel lead a people clean? Enough it. Because mechanisms are not there inside that system for undo the evil. If you create a structure, it will be transparent. Even when people they use na fraud, when I feel use that same system for change those people and bring those people down. Now you get now the system. It be corrupted, it start with corruption. Why Sako no go come in and can multiply the corruption? Because there is no system for whole person accountable. Now the consequences then this. When we allow ourselves to create systems with a big corrupt, systems out of manipulation, they take a people, their focus from liberation to different outcomes. So now Sakoyi and Chris Ano, they come in. Accountability no day. Transparency no day. Focus no day. Because there is no system for hold them accountable. There is no system for transparency. And so they don't owe the people. They don't owe the institution. No mechanism, not the way that institution feel hold any person accountable. Some of the problems in this. And so, now you can't get for tussle of power. Sako now talks says Siseko not movie because who be Siseko? It been a fraud for Siseko for Bide. It been a fraud for Sako for enter here and Chris Ano for enter inside that system. So who be Siseko for get power for moving inside? Now the consequences then this for create institution out of fraud and manipulation. And Ambazonian they get for pay the price. Ambazonian now they get for pay the price of engineered infighting. Because Sako now, it don't taste his own fame. It don't taste his own power. Now they get for fight each other. Who be IG? Who be IG and who be legitimate and who not be legitimate? the focus don't come out from liberating the people, from helping the people to achieve freedom. Now it been a power tussle between these groups and where they don't split. Ambazonia, they get be caught in the middle. The thing with Ambazonia, they don't create them. The things with Ambazonia, they don't believe in. It don't become that the same thing with the tear Ambazonian people them apart. The same thing with the destroy the people. Now, in order for one person for dominate the other one, they get for create now a system. We get for destroy this one and make this one survive. Or this one destroy the other one for this one for survive. Ambazonians, they lost focus on the ground. Because it became now a survival of these splinter groups. We shift our focus from the enemy, from homeland. We shift our focus from the war. We shift our focus from arming ground zero. We shift our focus from providing weapons, providing training, recruiting groups, putting these groups into structures where they be well armed and they get a command and control for ground zero, for keep the ground strong. It be now the survival of these two groups. Now, these two groups will survive. They get to go after every other group and for make sure say collaboration not happen. Because collaboration go undermine the identity where they don't embody and say they be a government. Why a government will go collaborate with other groups that will not be government? It be impossible. So they create this atmosphere of intense competition and the quest for eliminate any other movement. They lost focus on the ground. While these two groups that fight each other, while these two groups that fight for popularity, the governing council of Ambazonia is start with one thing. Create a structure where it be founded on principles of truth, accountability, and transparency. On core principles for create an institution where it go stand the rocky nature of the environment. Next, focused on building a defense structure for ground zero where their focus now on the enemy. One group, it fight for saying, "Me I be government, and all man must pay allegiance to me. All man must give money for me." The other group is saying, "No be na the thing this will fight for this revolution. No be na the reason this way will rise up. Where people they rise up? Why people they rise up now for challenge the occupation, for challenge Cameroon, claim of Ambazonia. Why people they rise up because they want freedom. Why people they rise up because they kill them. Why people they rise up because since 1961, while land don't be occupied, the governing council, it take a focus, put them for ground. Even while they attack them, even while they go after them, for blackmail them, the governing council put a focus for ground, for build the ADF as a national liberation army. While they build the ADF, the two IG group, they busy fight each other. Sako one move Sisiku, say Sisiku no get power. Sisiku say Sako no get power. Now the fighters for ground, for this IG group, them, for gain, because now self-defense, now the talk. Now self-defense now be the language of the day. Now it makes sense. For them for enter the game, for them for continue for be popular. They got for now go buy the fighters with ADF He don't build them. He don't create them. He don't recruit them. He don't train them. You see? The system, they start with corruption. Now they go for transfer that corruption back to ground zero. Buy fighters so they not train them. Buy fighters so they not recruit them. Buy fighters so they not fit command them. Because they not create the structures for be able for lead a liberation will be based on volunteer. Now our mistake them this. Why would we bring these things up? We got to bring these things up so that we learn from our mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. They come up with groups. They come up with the Red Dragon. They can show you plenty materials. They can show you a big group. What they call them the Red Dragons. They can show stage with materials. And at that time, Ambazonian, they don't even start to donate the money. Where if he buy those kind of materials, we look and we say, something is not right. Something is fishy. Something not correct. Because self-defense is just the emerge. We saw all these weapons. They just come out overnight. For a group we never ever hear about. Because of the corruption and manipulation, La République hijacked these movements, penetrate the Sako group, take over the Sako group. The Red Dragon show up with all these weapons. Now day after day, the Red Dragon don't kill 1,000 La République soldiers them. The Red Dragon don't bring down 10 helicopters for La République du Cameroon. La République du Cameroon send 100,000 army, police, and gendarmes. The Red Dragons kill 50,000. The Red Dragons don't arrest, they don't destroy 10 armor cars. No photo. The Red Dragons don't kill 300 La République. Every day. Every day the Red Dragons don't kill 300 La République. Every day the Red Dragons don't kill 500 La République. If you add the number up, that means say the Red Dragons alone, between 2017, so to can reach today, the Red Dragons don't kill about 50,000 La République army, police, and gendarmes. According to their own publications. Then now you want to see now the same Red Dragons where they show them with plenty weapons. You see now small. You hear say these forces of the Red Dragons, they don't go surrender for DDR. But you need to see them with the same guns. You need to see them now with pipes. Who said they gun them the day? Who said all that guns they will be showing? And now when all the Red Dragons, they don't finish for go surrender. One gun, one AK, will they be show the Ambazonian people? They not ever carry them go surrender with them. Because they don't go hand the materials back for La République. Same thing with Ayeke. They split up the Red Dragons. Ayeke say one create his own. He create his own group. Same thing. We can't warn the Ambazonian people. Capo Daniel blow whistle. Tell the Ambazonian people, say the Red Dragons now a stage group. For deceive the Ambazonian people, say they get a group with the fight for them. We produce the evidence. Say the group is staged. Say they go come a time where La République will take all those weapons back. And they go come, talk say, they say, well, the war need to work again. Christian can't warn. If Ambazonian not give them weapons, if Ambazonian not contribute money, after they don't embezzle my triple boy money. Say if Ambazonian not give them money by force, then they will go surrender for La République du Cameroon. The video is there outside. In only 6 months, Every single soldier of the Red Dragon, they don't go surrender for La République du Cameroon with their weapons, with those pipes. But none of those big gun them, where they can't show we, none of them. Even till today, they can't tell when I say, La République don't go surround Le Bialem. No one fighter not there again for Le Bialem under the Red Dragons. The other one where they come out with Ayeke, they be na gendarmes. And the B come from Mabanda. The day where they kill Ayeke, the next day, when I see all those fighters them, they come out them back. They go back for the B come from Mabanda. Because we be the tell now. Since most of those fighters, na bees, the reason why they be do those things, and that's why they be bomb villages using Ayeke. We want the Ambazonian people then. So these things they be staged for deceive the Ambazonian people so they get fighters. Now the consequences then this for create groups out of fraud and manipulation. Now the price where a people go pay when they no one do things now based on structure, based on competence, and based on experience. When we no one do things now based on outcome, this person, you go ask a simple question. Since 2017, the money where Sako and Chris Anu they raise them under the IG. How many guns they provide them for ground? We ask one of these questions. We start to provide evidence of the corruption. Say that money need to go down. We tell when I say they don't kill fighters. And within 6 months, they killed 680 fighters under the county by county. We tell when I say they don't work with La République du Cameroon for end the war for ground. And that's why they kill these fighters. Almost every single top commander under county by county, they wipe them all. Wipe all these young boys them. Because they take the money for diaspora. They don't get any connection with these fighters. They don't get the experience for trained fighters. They don't get the experience for lead fighters. They don't feel sustain these boys. They don't know how to motivate these boys. They don't know how to buy guns. They don't know how to buy bullets. They don't create the network where they fit deliver for those boys. It leads to the frustration of these young Ambazonians where they rise up for defend their communities, defend their blocks, and defend their country. It can lead to their frustration. The frustration lead for many of them. Most of Sakoi fighters, they don't go surrender for DDR. Most of the fighters under the IG, due to the frustration, they not be get any choice than to go surrender for DDR. They became vulnerable and therefore go surrender. Because systems will not be created for arm these boys so that first they protect themselves. Second, they defend their communities and their blocks, and then they defend Ambazonia. Now the frustration. Now better come for now. It can cry. It beg. Same frustration. It lead Nambere for go fall under DDR. It lead Nambere make it go fall under La République du Cameroon. Same frustration. It lead all the other fighters them. Because they not create a system where if we sustain the supply and the arming of these forces, the motivation of these forces, the training of these forces. Because people come in through systems of fraud and there's no accountability. Same, take that fraud, bring them for ground zero. It leads to this frustration. It leads to the death of thousands of young Ambazonians where they rise up for fight because they take money, they raise all this money, they not get a system for buy guns, they not get a system for supply those guns, and they not get a chain and command for make sure say any money where they send them for fighters, it be translated into materials directly. You not get system. The boys are now they get for go surrender for DDR. The one way they remain, they get for turn into kidnapping for ransom in order for them to survive. In order for them to defend that small blocks. In order for them to get money for buy bullets. In order for them to get money for buy guns. So the kidnapping for ransom will happen for Ambazonia. Most of it come now out of the frustration of the fighters where Sako and the IG group, they get all these soldiers them and then they frustrate them because they don't know how to sustain them. 2, a small part of kidnapping for ransom, the greater part of kidnapping for ransom, it comes now out of the frustration of the abandoned forces. A greater part. Some other part of kidnapping for ransom, now La République du Cameroon, he owns fake Amber boys them, make they do them. But that one are the smaller part. The bigger part of kidnapping for ransom, now out of the failure of the abandoned forces under the IG group. Because they don't know anything about self-defense. They don't get any relationship with these fighters. They want fighters only for the purpose of loyalty and not for the purpose of liberation. Now the seed of destruction this, where Ambazonia, they create them and they enable them. And today, Ground Zero, they pay the price of that chaos. Because of political expediency. People not get the competence, they not get the skill, they not get the experience. The only effect, the only thing if it happen, na chaos. The Ambazonia Defense Forces, it liberate almost the entire territory. When they do all this, their jama, I vote for ground. The battle La République in and out. They put training. They recruit boys. They harvest materials. Take down police station. Take down gendarme station. Take down B station. Harvest materials. Why they do all this jama? I will be busy for liberate the entire Ambazonia. And it succeed for the greater extent. For liberate almost all of Ambazonia. They can introduce a system for drive every other person out. Places where 80% of La République don't fall for almost every community for Ambazonia. All DOs and SDO they run. All colonial administrators they run. Most schools and colonial schools in Ambazonia they don't shut down. Between 2000 and the mid part of 2018 and the late part of 2000 and the late part of 2019, especially 2019 and 2020, we lost a lot of grounds. We lost grounds. La République, all these places where they don't liberate them. Those boys and where they be fight for their true nature. Once the corruption come in, and they not be fit for sustain all those ADF fighters. Those boys them now, a lot of them, they be killed. A lot of them out of the frustration, they get for go surrender. La République buy a lot of them because they be vulnerable. The elites, the colonial elites, They take advantage for this system. They infiltrate ground zero, start to pull a lot of these boys out and send them for DDR. And so the boys they now get for accept for go for DDR. Why they not go accept? You give them gun, you give them materials, so their lives will be in danger. All the gains we will be making, like the public start for recover, they start for Manu fall, part of Meme fall, Fako fall. Indian, Coupé, most of those places will start for lost control. We get to be honest with ourselves. For the mistakes that we don't make them, I get this discussion. Not been for point blame. Now a collective mistake. Not been a mistake for this group. Not been a mistake for that leader. But a collective mistake of the Ambazonian people then. All we got for take responsibility. All of us. All we. Now our mistake. Now the mistake of the Ambazonian people then. So that's why we got to bear the responsibility for our mistakes. Now boy that, they go organize football match. Now when they be fit the colonial system, it be fit for organize football match for Fako. When? You see, it give rise for embolden the colonial elite so they work on the colonial states. He emboldened the traitors. Once the traitors, they know so you be corruptible. They go for back. They go bribe you. Bribe those forces who they around those places. May they not work again. May they just be there, but may they not work again. Now, boy, that's what they do mascot. The colonial state. Inside Ambazonian capital. A place will be done liberator. But because of tribalism, because Samuel Sako and Chris Anu, they vow. Because people like Wunja, they vow. See the ADF. They not feel allow me ADF. Be for Fako. They leave and Fako fall back to Cameroon. Today, now Ambazonia they did now La Republic they laugh Ambazonians. Because a place will be done liberator. We live and they use infiltrators for our own eye. Gihanam back for La Republique du Cameroon. And una clap, una shidon, una clap, una shidon, una say yes, 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 Chris Anu, yes, tribalism. Yes, the ADF no fight for Fako, yes. Muna not even made ADF fight for Fako, yes. When they go attack ADF camps for Fako, catch ADF forces, make video, torture them, burn ADF t-shirt, una clap, yeah, 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 yeah. Una no say una the clap na for una own doom. Una no say una the clap na for una own downfall. Who said the forces a day? Who said those same forces a day? When the not want ADF exist of Fako, who said those forces a day? Una dey still hear about them? We must take responsibility for our mistakes. Same thing with RK. A good soldier with ADF training. But because it be denied for join the gangs of infiltrators. Because it be denied for fight for the gangs of infiltrators. Because it denied for fight under county by county. Because it denied for fight under the government. They say they must hang Aruke. They say they must kill Aruke. They catch a good soldier. Ambush it. Carry it, go lock him. They can't tell when I say they must kill it. They must kill it. Kill a soldier who want to liberate land. Because he denied for fight under you. A soldier who is not training. A soldier who is not give gun. But he must fight under you. And if he not fight under you, you must kill it. And they can't tell now. Out of principle, we rise up. We make the case out of conscience. Defend Aruke. Advocate for Aruke. Rally Ambazonia. They made a rise up against that kind of system. Get the governing council of Ambazonia and the Ambazonia Defense Forces, make them involve and intervene for Aruke case. Because we know say if they start, now so it go continue. We advocate, challenge the Mark Barrettas. We they stand, make Aruke remain for prison. We challenge their argument. We challenge their narration, their narratives. We challenge them. Until the Ambazonia Defense Forces and Aruke forces, they will be remain. They create a plan and rescue Aruke. Now they move to whom? They move down for Ivo. Ivo must go down. Ivo, we don't liberate the entire land. They must kill it. Because Ivo deny for fight under the gang of infiltrators. They say Ivo must leave the ADF. Ivo must abandon the governing council. Because they not be government. Ivo must fight under government. When I listen for all those audios. When I listen for Sako, a call with Ivo. When I listen for John Igiwan, a call for Ivo. When they tell Ivo what he must leave the ADF. ADF not be government. Not in the be government. Ivo tell them say he like the ADF because na them training. He like the ADF because they get a structure. He like the ADF because they be focused. He like the ADF because the ADF the supply material for ground zero. Ivo tell them say when I go fee supply me. They go after una heroes. Kill Ivo. What happened with the revolution? The Eric Tatos. They carry them for their head. Make all kind of conspiracy against Ivo. The Don Pasho. It become like their bread. It become like the air where they breathe. They engineer this intoxication against our own fighters. Against the people where they liberate the land. for build their career of activism. They get for engineering a hate against fighters, against generals on the ground. Until finally, that chaos make the general become vulnerable for ground. They succeed for leak in location and stabbed Ivo. Take down the greatest. The entire block fall. Ground zero almost collapse. The man we don't map the entire territory. And he know who's at the day and how to take them out with the soldier there. They take it down. Self-defense for ground almost collapse. It take a while for build them up. We start for lost territory. Because people, they just want allegiance to themselves and not to Ambazonia. And not for the liberation. Even when they know say they not fit supply soldiers. The one the way they under them, they not even fit for supply them. They not fit manage them. They never show Ambazonia them since 2017. Which of all their, which they claim say they get them for ground zero? Now which commander they don't raise them? We don't stand out. I want to ask you now. Since 2017, now which commander, the IG group, it don't raise them. It bring it up. They show the Ambazonian people say, now soldier this will don't raise them. Now which one? But every day that they can't make noise to the Ambazonian people, say they get forces with a generic name, Restoration Forces. Command and control no day. Now which commander for all the 13 states where the 2 IG group, it don't raise them. It show the Ambazonian people. Say no fight as this. Which one? Which of all the group they for down? No group, no day. Where they don't put them, where he even get 5 AK, no group. 5. Now for send $200, $500, send $1,000 for buy loyalty. Just for buy loyalty. And leave these soldiers them vulnerable. Leave them weak. Leave them defenseless. And leave them exposed. You must stop, Ambazonians. And then we know cash on every day. Oh, unity. Oh, we'll go for unite. Oh, we'll go for unite. Oh, we'll go for collaborate. Collaborate on what? When the people they not fit proof. Say when were people that they face genocide? Our main priority is supposed to be in a ground zero. When groups they not fit proof. Say when were people that they go through genocide, terrorism, homelessness, because the enemy they burn our communities, burn our houses, burn our business, and send our people out. Priority therefore be now how for protect, how for defend those people. Now the priority is that what they give now. Now the priority is that where Comrade Yerima give now. Or now the priority is that way Sako and Cristiano they give now. What a shame to an educated generation. And then all man for outside here for diaspora. They go to shout, we not collaborate, we not collaborate, we not collaborate. We not just come together now. We not just come together now. Come together and do what? When people not get a common priority. When people don't know, say, in the face of genocide, the first responsibility of a leader now for protect the people. The governing council of Ambazonian, it prioritized self-defense. And it laid the roadmap for self-defense. We say, okay, we be open for collaborate. Bring your groups and for down, may they work together. They say no. Why? Because the interest, not enough for the liberation of Ambazonia. The interest, not just the fame of empty noise. It must stop. It must stop. The Ambazonian people don't go through enough since 1961. We must do the right thing. We must focus on what it work. We must focus on what it don't work. We no go repeat failure. We no go tolerate failure. We no go tolerate these experiments on the lives of our people. We no go tolerate them. I call on every single Ambazonian. Rise up and take responsibility. Take responsibility for your failure, use your sense, for accept manipulation and accept fraud. And accept, say, you get a government. We don't know if you prioritize self-defense. We must stop all these things. We got to learn from our mistakes. We got to accept our mistakes. First, we got to accept our mistakes. And number one. Number two, we learn from those mistakes. Number three, be an intelligent people who claim to be. Follow which it work. Which you don't prove for work, which it work, and which you don't deliver results. We must prioritize the defense of homeland. There is no other way. If the Ambazonian people want to succeed, if truly we want this freedom, then we must tell ourselves this truth. We accept things that they be wrong. We accept things that they lead me for the wrong direction. We accept things the way they make we will lose grounds. Learn from our mistakes. Moving forward, remember as I talk, now a collective responsibility for these mistakes. For all we. Now all we allow the mistakes for happen. Now all we allow those things may they happen. Number one, we accept the collective mistakes. Number two, we learn from them. Number three, which you don't work. Which you don't work, now structure self-defense. Everything on the ground almost fail. Not only structure self-defense, man. The Ambazonian Defense Forces, through all the insults, through all the blackmailing, through all the propaganda against ADF, they remain the supreme force on the ground. They remain the biggest force, the most equipped, the most trained, with the most materials. Why? Because they create them with a structure. They create them with principles. Because they create them with a command and control. They create them with a code of conduct. They create them for the way it be sustainable. They create them for the way we sustain the forces. Another thing I say, the way where they create them, the people where they create them, they get the experience. They take the time, they design the force, they train the forces, they know those commanders, they know those generals. Not be that some person is for here. He say I get forces for ground, you never even know who they be. You don't get relationship with them. You don't ever spend time for bush with them. You don't ever fight with them. So how you fit get that kind confidence and trust? How? Most of the generals within the Ambazonian Defense Forces, all the top leadership for ADF, they know those people personally. They don't sleep for bush with them. They sleep for places where they go find materials together. So the leadership relationship now born. Some of them, they are papa, they be work together with the ADF leadership. They work together with leadership of governing council. So that trust, it did it. That confidence, it did it. And they understand what they fight for. They understand their mission. They understand their purpose. They understand why they be soldiers. Now for liberate the land. They put within every single ADF soldier for a heart. They put them for a heart. The only reason why they carry that AK, now say now you hold the revolution. Now you stand for defend Ambazonia. Now you stand for liberate the land. Now you be the defender of the people. Now you be the protector of the people. Now you be the spirit and the hope of Ambazonia. Now you be the guarantor of freedom. And the person who, if we are people, they survive. Now because of you. They put them for their heart. They put them for every single ADF soldier heart. They are training. They program them. They condition them for be soldiers of the revolution, for defend the hopes, the dreams, and the lives of Ambazonian people then. So they carry the fire for Ambazonia for their heart. That's what makes the ADF. Now the thing that make ADF. When we not hear ADF, now the fire where they don't put them for their heart. Now the fire of freedom. Because they go through a system, a process where he educate them. And he tell them why they rise up. And he tell them why they go for sacrifice. And he tell them even if they go for pain at the ultimate price, why it be worth it? Why all we got for make the sacrifice? And that's why, moving forward, we call on all Ambazonians for support with the work. Today, we want to wake up for this morning time. One of our big brother, Dr. Gabila, a respectable, honest Ambazonian. We all know he as Dr. G. He don't wake up. He rate all the movements them. He said the movement will be the biggest disgrace for Ambazonia. Nasako group. He said that the movement that will be the biggest disgrace for the Ambazonian people then. He said Nasako IG. He said the movement where it carry failure. Na Comrade Yerima IG. He's saying that the movement of failure that. The economist, Dr. Gabila, he talks say, Capo Daniel, now the most consistent and focused activist for AMBAZONIAN War of Independence for 2020. He talks say, the group, we are a group of excellence, we they stay true to the core in terms of focus, priority, leadership, and achievements. We they achieve the highest level of success for AMBAZONIAN War of Independence, whether not for ground or diplomacy. He talks in that the governing council of AMBAZONIA will be led by Dr. Ibacho. This one, the commander from an economist, Dr. G. And Dr. G, you now remember, now be one of the top policy advisor for Sisekui IG Group Care, IG Care. Na person you know like he, na person you clean, na person you like to talk true. It will be pastor too, but an economist we believe it for God too. So we must tell our people then the truth. So these things are not only ASU. Go can't talk am because I speak from the institution where they fight under, where they work for AMBAZONIAN under. But when I fit get them from an outsider, when I fit also when I get that truth from an outsider. All soldiers and for ground zero, for una for be effective, for defend una blocks, for save una own lives, for una for be true soldiers. We call on every single commander where they need to take good care of you, because system is not there for sustain them, for sustain you. We call upon you. We call upon every commander. We go for make 2021 for put our focus back, for take back control of the areas that we don't lose them. So we need all the commanders for join the AMBAZONIAN Defense Forces. Every commander. We not join the AMBAZONIAN Defense Forces so that we will get a leadership. We go make una true heroes. We will get the support we need them from the AMBAZONIAN people, because we don't create structures for raise funds and give everything for the supply of materials. The greatness of every fighter for ground zero. All great fighters, they do under ADF. When I join ranks with the best of the best. Not be for please any person. Not for liberate homeland. You know if you liberate homeland for this kind of thing until you get a leadership where you understand the enemy, and if you give them a better education, better training, better planning, better intelligence. When our own survival depend on that. The defense of the blocks where una dey, it depends for una for be strong. It depends for una for get better equipment and consistent supply of equipments, and then the bullets where una need them for fight la Republic on a weekly, daily basis on behalf of AMBAZONIAN. Because all we got for work together under a structure where it achieve, where it identify and achieve the objectives for the revolution for the people then. All. So every single commander on the ground, what effectiveness it become. Now when would they under structures would they be created for lead una. People the way they understand una. They understand what you una need. They understand the environment with the fight day. They understand the enemy. And because the governing council don't create a structure of public funding where Ambazonian the fit trust, say every dollar with a game. You give a $100, you know say they supply their 50 bullets. You give your $1,000, you give your $2,000, you give your $2,000, you know say you go buy an AK. And you see them for ground. Like the CWT, the stabilization program, they do them. Like the CWT, the PIN project. Now just give me a moment here. The last program before stabilization being at the PIN project. When I see the results with the PIN project deliver them. Now in this, now part of the materials and this with the PIN project deliver them. Now part of the materials and that. I will become sure Ambazonians then. Now the last materials and this with the 100 and I think it been a $103 with the PIN project be raised. Now the last materials and this will they be delivered. These two gun them for this end them. Just these two gun them. These two M magazine them. Those two M magazine them. Those two. Just those two. Now when I see I'm not than that. Now part of the materials and this will they be the carry and for go bui, for go for bui. For go giam for the soldier them for bui. And the environment. With General Efang, with the other forces then they be carry and they go there. So all Ambazonians, when I feel trust, say every single dollar we Ambazonians they donate them under the governing council through the Ambazonian Defense Forces, it be accounted for in the supply of materials. So all commanders, all soldiers, when I hear me fine, when I greatness. Now for join the ranks of other great generals, other great fighters. When I join General Efang for liberating Ambazonia. When I join Lieutenant General Popo for liberating Ambazonia. For the glory of the Ambazonian people them. Make we not live and make this thing fail. Because incompetent people, the one can lead soldiers. Now a different game. It requires a different skill set. It requires different experience. It requires different psychology. Where people must be free. But for achieve that objective, regain the confidence on the ground. Stop kidnapping for ransom. Regain all the places where we don't lose them. For 2021, our first focus again for being for stop la République du Cameroun. Our first focus for 2021, our top priority, it go be now for stop la République du Cameroun their provocation where they try for host Nation Cup for inside Ambazonian territory. Without the Ambazonian people, their consent, it go be our first priority. We go need every single Ambazonian commander. Make it join the Ambazonian Defense Forces. We get for show the world. Say the war will probably declare among the Ambazonian people. Ambazonia must be free. So it will be our top priority. And we will need every single commander we there for ground on the territory. For join General Efang. Join Lieutenant General Popo for this mission, for complete the liberation of homeland and give our people hope. Give our people homeland. Give our people the life, the dignity where they deserve. We call on all Ambazonians for diaspora. Make all we learn from the mistakes of the past. Make we rally ourselves behind an institution we don't prove to the Ambazonian people and to the international community. It be the most credible, the most respected, and the one will be guarantee for give Ambazonia the independence. And the Governing Council of Ambazonia. The Governing Council of Ambazonia, it be willing, open, and ready for collaborate with any group, any Ambazonians, where they stand for fight for the independence of Ambazonia, for liberate homeland together. Now for the liberation of Ambazonia first, not before any political legitimacy for any person. Now for rally around the liberation. We call on all our papa them, all our mommy them. Say 2021, the Governing Council of Ambazonia don't prove to the Ambazonian people. Say now it be the foundation, now it be the guarantor, now it be the vanguard for Ambazonia independence. It don't prove them on the ground, and it don't prove them diplomatically. We rush for the Swiss talks without due diligence, without asking the hard question. And today, Ambazonia, they pay the price. We must do what to be right and what to be good for our people, especially on the territory, for the defense of homeland. 2021, now a year for stabilized ground zero. We need every single commander on the ground to get on board. We must stabilize every state. The state of Manu, we got to stabilize the state of Manu. We got to stabilize the state of Fako. We got to stabilize Meme. We got to stabilize every single block for Ambazonia. So every commander got to get involved for the stabilization process. The leader will be out here for raise money, for stabilize every block, every group on the ground. Where it stand now for the flag, for the anthem, for the nation, for the liberation, and for homeland. Now the talk is for today. We acknowledge what we got to acknowledge our mistakes, learn from our mistakes, and then change. Follow which it work, which it don't work, which it don't prove for all way for consistently work. Follow the vision, the roadmap, and the strategy where they deliver with consistent result for our people. Then. 2021, the year we're going to do great things. This morning, I get briefing on the great work with the Ambazonia Defense Forces they do. When I will see the result by ourselves. When I will hear the news. When our forces they work. They work. 2021, it will be another year for shake the occupational system. For shock Cameroon inside Ambazonia. Everything will be remain of Cameroon. 2021 are the year for shock Cameroon inside Ambazonia. They must leave Ambazonia. The days ahead will be very sweet. The beginning of the new year will be very sweet. Una forces get big plans for una. General F and get big plans for the Ambazonian people. Lieutenant General Popo get big plans for una. They get big plans. They work. What you will see, what you will know, it'll be very sweet. We'll be very confident for what the leader don't put them for ground, for the plan we don't put them, and for the execution with the forces they did for all the 13 states for execute the mission. When I go here, when I had go over sweet, I'm ADF, now una forces where they will give una independence. On the 9th of January, the leadership of Governing Council of Ambazonia and the War Council, they go to come together for bring all Ambazonians in for can do a remembrance service for the 29 ADF fighters with Sako and Chris Ano. They killed them for the state of Bui. 9 days from now, the leadership of Governing Council of Ambazonia will bring all Ambazonians together for do a remembrance ceremony for honor the lives of the 29 ADF fighters where they killed them for Wisako and Chris Ano. They killed them for Bui and carry all their weapons, go hand and back for the Republic of Cameroon. For we for doing, we get for stabilize the state of Bui and make Bui become so strong so that such things will happen again, and that community they will be very stable. So the leader will do a fundraising on that day. That's what we get for remember our forces. For make sure say their death not be in vain. Now for stabilize that block and make General Hassan, General Capo, General Ebube, and their forces them where they don't almost liberate the entire state of Bui. Make them be strong enough for be able for stabilize the entire Bui and free the people. So a fundraising will be done on that day for that memorial service, for that remembrance service, for honor those heroes. Now the best gift that we will forgive them. So that once we stabilize Bui, we also get for do the next thing. For make sure say we uncover the places where they go bury them. At least forgive their families closure. Forgive one mommy them where they still bury, where they still carry the pain of say they disappear, they are picking them. Go bury them for some place with you today, no man or no. We'll go conclude that investigation for uncover places where they bury them. For we for doing, we need massive stability for Bui. We call on every Ambazonian on that day for join that remembrance ceremony for honor those forces with a big fundraising for stabilize Bui. I want to end by telling what people say 2021 will be a year of hope. Great things are there ahead of we. We do well diplomatically. The leader that they finalize the things and for start the framework, for create a concrete framework for negotiation through the international system. So too on the ground, we do very well. We'll go continue the stabilization plan until we complete the stabilization of the ground on the ground. So 2021, a year of great expectation, a year of a lot of hard work, a year of hope for all we, a year of confidence, a year where people will see the fruits of what they ask for, what they fight for. The year will go for make a lot of progress. 2021 be very promising for the Ambazonian people as we start to move for the stabilization phase. So a good year for we. So as we end this year, I want to thank every single Ambazonian on the ground. I want to thank all Wamamidem for the consistent dedication and commitment, especially for respect Country Sunday. Every Monday, the lockdown of the shutdown of the territory for observe Ghost Town na a big collective sacrifice. The war on the ground, na a collective resistance. One thank our people them for the sacrifices, for the defiance, na for all we. I want thank una. For our people them for diaspora, one thank una plenty for the consistent commitment, for the trust for the leadership, for the consistent commitment of funding for the liberation of homeland. One thank all our brothers them, big brothers them like David Makongo, we focus for provide humanitarian support for refugees, the Aya Foundation, and all Ambazonians where they do humanitarian. Mami Ambazonian where they go of the IG care, Mapola, all activists them, where when problem come out, all we can gather together. You know, Mami woman of God, Mami Wally on the move, the Mami for all Ambazonian soldiers them. I want to thank the big man, Benedictwa of the Ambazonian Defense Forces, with the deputies, big man Sheikh Kavi, big brother Pascal PK, deputy defense chief, my friend and my brother Comrade Capo Daniel. I want to thank the great work of, Major General Vela of the Mandela family. I want to also thank our friend and our brother and colleague, Junior Rebel, General Tapang Ivo Tanku, when I now be the big man for Rebel TV, a strong Ambazonian warrior. I want to thank Ma Cecilia Amabo, Mami Abu Free, Mami Najale, Mami B. I hope I'm not forgetting any person. I know if I want to thank all the Vice President of Governing Council of Ambazonia. I want to thank the Secretary General of Governing Council of Ambazonia. I want to thank all the people, the President and the Chief of Staff. I want to thank the people them for intelligence. In fact, I want to thank all our prisoners them. The Sisiku them, Patasang them, Mancho BBC. Even our brother Awa Thomas, where they manipulate may begin to make audio cost me and Dr. Ayaba for prison with the hopes that they will release it. My brother, I still pray for you. No, with all the cost for place where you there, there's no way I feel cost you. There's no way. How you go money be inside prison? Me, I can't enough for every cost you. I'm not fit. So if you cost me as much as you want, I will still send you love and find way for support una. All right? So for all our prisoners, all the parents, all una, even the one who they did for Mamfe, Kumba, all side, would you think about una? All what you do here, now for make sure say una be free. That's why we would pay that price. That's why we do the sacrifice. For make sure say una fit be free. For make sure say Ambazonia fit be free. All our refugees them. My entire community for Boki. No man no day. All the villages for Boki. All man, no man no day again. So now the reason this all the sacrifice. Not be for me. My own life don't already be secured. Now the lives of others. Now for secure the lives of our mommy them, our papa them. That's how they pay this price. That's how they make these sacrifices. That's how we take the insults and the cost and everything for our people them. Now for una. And because we love una. And because we care about una. And because we care about our picking them. And because we know say we deserve a better country. Where people that deserve freedom. Because we don't see how the outside world will be. We don't see what to be possible. And we know say if it be possible for other places, it also be possible for our people there. And for all now. One time we are refugees them. It's not easy. But with a determination, it will take we far. So I salute all prisoners, all refugees them. No matter place where you're there as an Ambazonian, we hold you for heart. We speak on your behalf. We fight on your behalf. We debate on your behalf. Now for your freedom. All our papa them and our mommy them for outside here. I want to thank you for our prayers. We want to pray for the leader. We want to prayers. We want to pray for the forces. And our prayers. We want to pray for the land. I want to thank all our papa them. Thank all our mommy them. No matter the differences we'll be getting for 2021. We're going to put the differences aside and align ourselves with the leadership if you give the Ambazonian people the way they deserve. We'll not afford to repeat the errors of 2019 and 2020. It could be a great year for we as a people. I love you plenty. May God bless you now and Happy New Year.